And then my number one that I think will forever be my number one. Today I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite items from my ever-growing music collection and tell you a little bit about them. So
I'm the assistant.
Yeah, he's going to hold up all of my items for me. So first, I have my top 10, but I want to put some honorable mentions in because I can't fit all of my favorites into only 10. So we're going to start out with these bad boys. And so these took me a minute to get. So these are all the reprinted picture discs of the original Kiss albums. And I have Peter, Gene, Ace, which is sideways, and Paul. But
I'm a bad assistant.
Yeah, he's gotta get it together. But all of these albums, I've listened to all of them. I just think they're a great piece for any Kiss collector, really, to have, and hopefully they'll be on the wall soon. This one's a little bit bigger. So this is an original John Lennon Imagine record. I've had this one probably the longest of all of these items in my collection. The first band I ever really got into collecting was the Beatles, and John was always my favorite. So this was number one on my list for a long time, and it's been on my walls, it's been on shelves. I just love it. It's got sentimental value to it now. And so number 10, I'm gonna get... This is actually, fun fact, the only autograph that I have with my name on it. This I got at this last year's Mad Monster convention in Atlanta. This is Alex Vincent. He played Andy in the original Child's Play movies, and I've always just been a really big Chucky fan, and getting to meet him was really awesome. He's a super nice guy, and I was starstruck, and I didn't know how to talk, and I couldn't work my Venmo, so he actually helped me work my Venmo. Number 9 is this Terrifier autograph that I got from eBay. I've never actually met them, and that's the only reason that it's a little bit lower on my list, because it is Damien Leone and David Howard Thornton. I love the Terrifier movies. I know that's kind of controversial, but I'm a big horror fan, and I knew that if I was going to get an autograph that I wanted them both on there, because I think they're both just so important to the franchise, and yeah, I love it. It sits right beside my bed. Yeah. I look at it every night.
And by all accounts, they're good guys.
They are. Especially, hopefully this year I'll get to meet David Howard Thornton. I know he goes to a lot of conventions in our area, and he's definitely on my list of people that I want to meet in my life. Alright, number 8 on my list is my Neve Campbell and Roger Jackson autograph.
Maybe tell him who Roger Jackson is.
Yeah, okay, so obviously Neve Campbell played Sydney in Scream, and Roger Jackson is the voice of Ghostface in this scene. And he signs a bunch of Scream stuff, and this one was another eBay find. But I love Scream, and I think it's a nice picture, which I always look for in an autograph, because it's one thing to autograph just like a piece of cardboard or something, but to really autograph a good picture from an iconic scene, it just means something. And it's remarked. So that's always...
What's it say?
It says, "Do you want to die, Sydney?" And it has a little ghost face. Yeah. He drew a little ghost face on it.
He does a really nice job. So if you want a Scream, and not as expensive as some of the rest of them, but he usually puts a little extra effort into everything.
Yes. We love Roger Jackson. He's great. Okay. And then next up is my Eric Singer... Is it Red Cross?
Red Cross.
Yes. Red Cross poster. It's signed by Chuck Garrick, Damon Johnson, and Ryan Roxie, and obviously Eric Singer. I'm such a big Eric Singer fan, so this is a big win for me. I got this from Kiss Haven pretty recently, actually, and it's one of those pieces that not a lot of people have, and they actually never sold these. These were all given to them. Mm-hmm. So
This was a fundraiser for Hurricane Katrina.
Yes.
And every bit that they made went to the donation.
Next up, I actually don't have this one yet, but it's on pre-order. It's the Randy Rhoads, thank you, the Randy Rhoads Knucklebones statue. I talked about Knucklebones in another video, but they make really, really nice statues, and Randy Rhoads is one of those people that I've been a big fan for a long time. He was Ozzy Osbourne's guitarist, and he was a founder of Quiet Riot, which is what the one that I bought was from his days in Quiet Riot. And there's not a lot of merchandise for Randy, so getting one of these statues I think was definitely a good move.
He died young in a terrible, terrible tragedy.
Yes.
But iconic, Crazy Train, I mean, maybe one of the most iconic riffs ever.
Oh, he's amazing. Absolutely amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
And then moving on, we have, this one is the first one with 2 items because I actually couldn't decide between the 2 which one I wanted to showcase more. So this is, why don't you tell them what this one is?
So this is the Sideshow Crow. There is a Hot Toys Crow as well. This one's a little bit newer, and I think this one is actually the better of the figures. I think Sideshow figures are kind of up and down, if I'm just being totally honest, but this one, they killed. This is an amazing piece, an amazing piece.
And then this, I'll let my assistant hold it again, but this is actually signed. I don't know if you can see it in camera, but it's signed by James O'Barr. And we got this, I think, 2 years ago at the Atlanta Comic-Con when we were walking around. We did not know that James O'Barr was there. And we were walking around and we just happened upon his booth where he's just, walking around looking at everything else. And we were like, oh, that's James O'Barr. And I ended up getting his signature. And unfortunately, I've never met him when I'm dressed up as the Crow, which I've been doing at a lot of conventions recently. Maybe one day. One day I'll get
the Brandon Lee Crow.
The Brandon Lee Crow. We won't talk about the new one.
We don't know yet.
We know. We know. Number 4, again with the multi-part thing, is Matthew Lillard autographs. So this one that I'm holding is obviously from Five Nights at Freddy's. I got this at Mad Monster last year. And it's the first time I've actually met him. He's a great guy. Like, he really takes his time. Like, he had the longest line there. And
by far.
By far. It was rearranged like 4 different times. And never once did I see him get frustrated or worked up about it. He took his time with all of the fans. This one is signed by Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich. All of these, I did see them both at the convention, but that was the only one I actually got from the convention. These I got from eBay. And I have his autograph 3 different times from my 3 favorite roles that he did, being Scream, Five Nights at Freddy's, and then this next one, which is going to be 13 Ghosts. This was the first one I got. 13 Ghosts, of all the horror movies I've ever seen, is one of my favorites. Even though it's super campy and super corny, I think it's one of the best ones I've ever seen. And I think Matthew Lillard really carries his role well in that. So I had to get an autograph from it. And we're in the top 3. So these 3 are probably my newest finds, but are all 3 definitely my favorite things I'll probably ever get. So number 3, we have the Mick Mars, The Other Side of Mars record. It's autographed. I got it from his website. First of all, I couldn't find out where to find it to buy it. And then once I did, I had to immediately get one. Mick Mars...
I think the autographs are sold out now.
I think so. I believe. Mick Mars is one of my favorite guitarists of all time, if not my favorite ever. I'm a big Motley Crue fan, but I'm a bigger Mick Mars fan in general. This album is incredible. Like, if you haven't listened to it, definitely listen to it. And I just love it. It's really good.
Yeah. And he's in Tennessee, and we're in Georgia. So if we ever blow up, Mr. Mars, we'd like to meet you.
Yes, I definitely would. I'm definitely like your biggest fan. But number 2, sticking with the really big rock icons, this is from the Psycho Circus comic book
From Todd McFarlane.
From Todd McFarlane, and it's signed by Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, Peter Criss, and Todd McFarlane. We found this on a whim on eBay. This was because he collects comic books with autographs with Todd McFarlane, so he's looking through Todd McFarlane, and then he's like, oh, this is from Kiss, and it's got all of their autographs on it.
Right.
And it came with a comic book. It's somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but
it's a trade paperback that this was an insert, and I think they made 500 of these. You can find these on eBay. They're pretty priced, $500 to $600. We got a better deal than that.
Yes.
But pretty tough. Gene Simmons autograph, very tough. And
same with Paul Stanley. I think Paul and Gene's autographs by themselves are in the 200s.
Yeah. And Todd McFarlane, even though he does sign a lot, he's super, super, super popular. So $100 easy for Todd McFarlane's autograph.
When I got it, I always thought that this would be my holy grail collectible, just because it's the original members of Kiss, and it's signed by all of them. And how many people can say I have all of the original members
all together,
and it's in the color? I don't know, something about the colors adds to it for me. And I really thought that forever this was going to be my number 1 item until
along with one of the greatest comic artists of all time.
Exactly, along with Todd McFarlane, which is like
super popular.
Awesome. And then my number 1 that I think will forever be my number 1. As I said earlier, that I was such a big Eric Singer fan. We got one of the End of the Road tour used drum heads and drumsticks. And when I say this is number 1 for me forever, it is. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm a big Kiss fan, but I'm an even bigger Eric Singer fan. I think I've seen everything he's ever done. And I wanted one that was very clearly used. Not that there's anything wrong with the other one, but I wanted to know that there was some love put into this.
Yeah,
and it was. It doesn't get better than this. This is it. This is all I've wanted. I could quit collecting right now today and be happy with just that.
But you're not.
But I'm not. Fortunately, I'm still going, but maybe I'll get another one. Maybe I'll get another drumhead.
All right, so next time I'll have to break out some of mine, and most of mine is going to be comic statues and comic collectibles, but we'll get to that on another day. So guys, thank you very much for watching. We do very much appreciate you.
Did we just become best friends? Yup! Do you want to go do karate in the garage? Yup!